All right, team, R106. So next month's resistance workout, you're going to use load and range of motion to drive that heart rate. Okay, remember that we always make sure that their form is good. Form has got to be first. Range of motion is going to be second, and then you increase the load. You don't increase the load until you can get those two done first. Now, what makes this workout more unique this month and much harder is that you're going to stay, you actually have 4 exercises in a row that are on the same muscle group, and you stay in each exercise for 3 rounds. So you're going to stay in exercise 1 for 3 rounds, exercise 2 you're going to stay there for 3 rounds, exercise 3 for 3 rounds, and exercise 4 for 4 rounds, and they're all in the same muscle group. So you're really going to, that's a lot of time under tension for one muscle group with no rest. So you're really going to break those muscle tissues down in this workout. All right, so how we're doing this is going to be right, left, right, left. There are 4 exercises. Each exercise, you're going to stay there twice. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. You have enough for 24 people. You need to get at least 3 people in each exercise. But again, they stay there for at least 2 rounds. Now, the actual work time is 22 seconds. The rest time is only 10 seconds in between switching from right to left. So that switch is pretty quick. But you get 20 seconds to switch from exercise to exercise so they have time to get set up, find their weights, et cetera, et cetera. Exercise number 1 is going to be the kneeling, contralateral. So when we say contralateral, that means opposite leg, opposite arm, okay? So if this is the arm that's kind of, or this is the leg that's kind of stabilizing us, we're going to use the opposite arm. We come up and we're just going to be doing an overhead press. We really have to engage that core, otherwise we can hurt our lower back. So this is one of those important exercises where you make sure they understand, engage that core. So you're not using all your back muscles to stabilize your body. This forces you, you can't cheat on this one. So this one is actually a very hard exercise. Again, you want them to go as heavy as you possibly can without breaking form. And pretty much anybody can do it. If they can't do it on their knees, just simply have them stand in a staggered stance where they're just 1 foot front, 1 foot back, and when they switch, they stagger that stance. So same exact concept, but you're having them stand because they can't get on their knees. Next, you're going to have a single arm kettlebell squat, front raise, side raise. So this is how this looks. This one, you do not need to use a lot of weight. Most people won't be able to go beyond this right here. You're going to be coming up in a squat, and this is where you're going to do a front raise. This kettlebell needs to be facing down. This is not a swing. This is a front raise. So we come up and we raise it. Then we come up or squat down again, and we raise it to the side. And then we're just going to alternate between the front. I'm going to get so right-sided, lopsided, it's going to be ridiculous. But all you're doing is alternating from the front squat and then raise it, squat and then raise it, front to side. Okay, exercise number 3, circuit number 1 is your single arm dumbbell clean and press. So in the clean and press, it's kind of like the snatch where you're going to rip your shirt off, but you're going to catch it right here, then you're going to press. So you start from the ground, do not have them bend over. When you have load out and you're having somebody bend over, it puts an enormous amount of stress on that lower back. So you're going to come down, straight down, you're going to use that momentum and then push it up. So they're using momentum to drive the weight up, catch it, then they're using the momentum to push it up, okay? But the key here is to catch it. So a lot of them will do something like this, right? Now, that's going to be too light. If they can actually do this, that's too light. For most people, that's okay. But for your more advanced people, way too light. So you're going to use momentum, catch it right here, then you're going to push it up. And use momentum to push it up. A little bit of momentum, not a lot. Remember, form is most important. So again, ripping that shirt off. So you're going to rip the shirt off, catch it right here. So you're going to use momentum to drive it up, catch it. So you're starting in the squat, you come up, catch it right here, and then you're going to finish by pressing all the way through. Next, you have the single arm kettlebell squat to upright row. This one we've done many times. This one you can go heavier on. So here, demonstrate with my left. You're going to do a squat and you're going to lead with the elbow. So it comes up, lead with the elbow. Okay, when you see, that was probably a little bit too heavy for me to do there, but when you see them doing something like this, that's not leading with the elbow, that's leading with the hand. And they're basically doing kind of a curl, putting a lot of torque on that shoulder. You want them to lead with the elbow. Elbow should be shoulder height, maybe slightly above. You do not need to take this into your chin, just to chest height. Range of motion, plenty. Chest height is plenty. You don't need to take it above that. You start to put a lot of strain on that shoulder. Again, pretty much anybody can do this. You just drop them down to the lighter weight, limit their squat, and they can do it. If this is too heavy for them, get a 5-pounder, but pretty much anybody can do that. Next, you have, actually that's all 4 exercises for your shoulders. So that's circuit 1. You're running 2 simultaneous circuits. Circuit 1 is shoulders. Circuit 2 is back. Again, 4 exercises for your shoulders, 4 exercises for your back. We're gonna start with the 3-point row. Okay, this is, again, right side, left side. So when you do your 3-point row, one of the big things is have the foot turned out just a little bit. This is not gonna be like a lunge. Foot comes out just slightly. Long gait, so you have a long lunge here. You're supporting yourself with that front elbow. What I see a lot of is this. Just right there. That's not what we want with good form. Long lunge. We come 90 degrees here, and now we're gonna squeeze that lat and make sure you let them know. Squeeze the lat as they come up. Don't be dropping that head. The head should be coming up, and the shoulders should stay back. So you don't want the shoulders concaving like that. Just about anybody can do that exercise. If they really struggle with it, have them elevated. So you can have them elevated on the bench, or if they really have bad back problems, you can actually put them on a bench, one leg on the bench, one hand on the bench, and that's going to take all the pressure off that lower back. So it just depends on the individual. Next, you're going to do a renegade row from the box. Now, we forgot to actually add dumbbells here, but you're going to be using dumbbells. Now, the lower boxes are going to be a little bit harder because you're plank position, okay? So the taller boxes are actually a little bit easier. This puts you in more torque on the core. Again, when we do this, we row, we squeeze, keep those hips down. You don't want this is what I see mostly when people do renegade row, is the butt is way up in the air. If that's the case, if they can't do it with their butt down, then they're going too heavy. So have them lighten the load and then get straight into that plank position. Again, it's gonna be done easier on a taller box. If they can't do that, you can always have them on the box. Again, 3-point row, just like this, where they're supported on the box. That's going to take all the pressure, and all they have to do is switch to the other side. So depending on the individual, you vary the exercise, but there's a lot of different variations. The lowest variation is going to be where they have their knee and their hand on the box. That's going to take all the pressure off their lower back. Next, you're going to have a rubber band squat row. So here, you can go heavier on this. They can use a heavier band. Most people will be able to use at least the red band, the thick red band. They're going to be in a squat position. So you're going to hold them in a squat position, and they're going to come back and row. Now, key here, keep the chest up. What I see a lot of is something like this. That you don't want. Now they're using the lower back too much. Keep the core engaged. Otherwise, it's all lower back that's being used. So keep that core engaged, row back. Keep the shoulders back as well, so you don't have that protracted shoulder girdle. Squeeze when you come back. The other thing that I see a lot of this, where they're using their traps to draw it back. Keep the shoulders down. You want those shoulders down. When they come, it should be level. 90 degrees, they should be pulling at 90 degrees. They don't need to pull all the way back there, just at least at 90 degrees. Squeeze that lat, but keep the shoulder down so they're not doing something like this. This is what I see a lot of, okay? So again, if they can't do it in the squatted position, you can have them just slight bend, and they're going to row. Again, to make it easier, just go with a lighter rubber band. Real easy to increase or decrease that one. Next is going to be the single arm row with rotation. So here, you have several options here. You have the handle. You can grip it with the plastic. You can move the plastic handle up. You can grip just the rope part. Or you can stick your hand through and grip it from there. What you're going to be doing here is you're going to be leaning back. Now, what you want to demonstrate is all the way back here. So they're just slightly leaning back, and then they row. Full rotation. Make sure they are squeezing that lat when they come up. You don't want them just rotating around like this, okay? You want them pulling all the way up, squeezing with that lat, and try to get that shoulder to the strap. Okay, the further they come down, the harder this exercise is. And these need to probably be put up a little bit further, so for your hardcores, they can get almost at 90. That is incredibly difficult, even for the hardcores at 90 degrees. Most everybody is going to start out at this direction. Now, anybody can do it though. Anybody can do this exercise. All you have to do is walk them up into almost a standing position, and then they just pull themselves up and rotate as much as they can. Okay? So again, each time they do every exercise, they stay there for 2 rounds. There's only a 12-second or a 10-second switch time in between right and left, but there's 20 seconds in between each exercise, so it gives you plenty of time to get them set up into the next exercise. Now, on this one, you want to use some sort of a back and shoulder finisher. You can do something metabolic. You don't have to do just where all they're doing is finishing off their chest, or I'm sorry, their back and shoulders. You can get a little bit more metabolic, although if this is done properly, this will be very metabolic in nature. However, the most important thing to remember is do back and shoulders. Anything you do here involves back and shoulders, so that when we do our next workout, we're not doing back and shoulders again, or we're not doing, if you do something where you're doing chest, you're not hitting the chest 4 or 5 times a week. That's why we want to be specific on the team challenge. Whatever muscle group you're focusing on, whatever the focus is of that workout, use that in the team challenge. Most importantly, have fun with it so they walk away out of here on a high note.